Hello, Royal Ascot Day 3 is upon us. Gold Cup Day, some would say the highlight of the week. And we are going to focus on one of the key horses of the week, really, Kyprios, who is going to try and regain his title in the Ascot Gold Cup. I'm Ben Linfoot. I'm joined by Brocklebank and Kieran Clark to discuss this horse. And Kieran, he was a fantastic winner of this race 2 years ago. And if the old Kyprios turns up, he could take a hell of a lot of beating, but we don't know if he's quite as good as he used to be.
Yeah, he went unbeaten in that 2022 campaign. Looks a stayer that's probably going to be on the scene for plenty of years to come. Then obviously had that injury, which I know you were keen to discuss in detail later, Matt, about what kept him off the track last season. And you see there, he's 10 from 14, 5 Group 1 runs, 4 of them successful, and his time form rating of 128 puts him £7 clear of the chasing pack. Now that does come from the Prix run in 2022 when he won by a furlong.
And he hung a long way, Claire,
and he hung half. Yeah, he won a very long way. He hung across the track that day as well. Then he obviously came back last season and finished second twice in the Irish Leger and the Long Distance Cup, and he's mirrored his 2022 campaign so far. He kick-started it in the Vintage Crop at Navan, which I know we've got the roll the VT, as they used to say in certain.
What a lovely cue that was. Yeah. Thank you, Kieran. Good to have you back. Here he is, Kyprios in the Vintage Crop, Matt, and he was sent off at 2-13 this day, prohibitive odds. And did we learn anything at all?
Well, it was important, I think, wasn't it, to get another win on the board with him, I suppose. Like Kieran said, he'd gone a couple of starts in 2023 when clearly not himself and clearly not fighting fit. So really good to get another victory on the board with Kyprios, just to sort of give connections that impetus going into the rest of the season. And what he beat on the day is obviously questionable, and I argue that the same could be said about his Savile Beg win last time out as well.
Yeah.
So I don't think we learned a huge amount new. Like, we know this is a really classy horse. Aidan O'Brien's spoken in the past, hasn't he, about this horse being able potentially, they've given him Group 1 entries over 1.5 miles. This is a really classy horse at his best. The nag with me, and it really is quite a significant one when we're talking about a short price horse like this, is that there is no real evidence that he's back to that top class form, because and what did that amazing season in those really grueling tough races, including the Gold Cup, take out of the horse?
Yeah, that's true.
And physically, obviously, he was suffering in when he had the time off the track. Aidan O'Brien's on record saying he was, this horse is lucky to be walking again, never mind racing. So that's how far he's been to the brink of maybe ending his career as a racehorse. So great to see him back, but we're talking about him back in a Gold Cup. This is a fierce competition.
Just put some time for ratings on it, Matt.
You can, if you like. I was going to touch on the official ratings, just because you look at this race now. He's not clear on official ratings at all, and these official handicaps gone from a peak 122 to current 117.
Yeah.
He's not way clear, is he? But interested, like time form, take this full sort of holistic view of the whole career.
Yeah, so 128 is his master rating, which comes from 2 seasons ago, but this season he's been running to around 117. Now, if you watch his Savile Beg win, I think he did nothing in front. It's coming slowly run races, and he's just ground it out. And I think a real thorough test at 2.5, you'll definitely see the best of him. But like you say, is he the same horse as he was? To me, he's a lot closer to the pack than that rating would suggest, because you got the likes of Gregory, who's 121p. Trawlerman's up there as well, he got a really fine Dettori ride, didn't he, when he beat Kyprios.
Well, let's have a look at the second video clue, the Savile Beg Levmos Stakes, because he did beat the same stablemate, Queenstown,
he did.
As he did at Navan, but this is the most recent Kyprios form we've got to view. So when you look at this, just how confident do you feel that he could sort of put in a performance similar to that of his Gold Cup win from a few years ago?
You touched on it, Kieran, is that you don't think he was doing a lot in front. I thought this, like, the comeback win was pretty impressive. Yeah. This run really made me think is this horse wanting to go through? Is he really going to want to go through with it? Because we saw him, he showed quirks as a 3-year-old, didn't he? He ran him in the Linfield Derby Trail in cheap pieces. He came to Royal Ascot and had to be withdrawn at the start of the Queen's Vase because he played up and was a bit of a monkey. And obviously in 2022, they completely ironed him out. But even last year, in that race with Trawlerman, did he kind of hang fire a little bit in the straight and wait for Trawlerman? He shouldn't have lost that day, I don't think, should he?
I thought that's true. I didn't think he got the best of rides that day. But, like you say, personally, I don't think he is that same horse we saw 2 years ago. I think he's about £10 less horse. And that does bring the chasing pack into the equation.
He's won a length there, hasn't he? Kind of idling at 1 to 12.
I did put in the time form report that day, he is the one to beat because it looks probably a subpar. At the time, I thought it was going to be a subpar Ascot Gold Cup. It's actually a very good one when I saw the final field. Yes, we got no Courageman and me, but we have got some very viable challenges in the likes of Gregory and Vauban. Also, you're keen on him at Vauban. Do you think he'll definitely stay at well-run 2.5?
I think, interestingly, like in an ideal world, Vauban might want a little bit of cutting the ground at 1 mile and 6, but on decent ground, I think he might stay. I mean, look, this is Willie Mullins. If he thinks this horse is going to stay, just look at the way he chops and changes distance with all his hurdlers, any horse that he's ever had. And if he's coming here to the Gold Cup, this has clearly been a massive target since the trip to Melbourne went a bit west. I'm going to trust Willie Mullins to get him right and get him right and see out this trip. I think he's probably a big player. I
think going back to Kyprios, he might only have to reproduce that form we've seen him at Leopardstown last time to possibly win this, just because we know he's a guaranteed stayer. Yeah, well, we know he's a guaranteed stayer, and I still think he did a lot in front. I think if he reproduced that, it could see him well enough to win it, but I do think there's an improver in here, in Gregory.
Well, Kyprios is about even money, 6 to 5, those sort of odds. So I think I know which way you're both going to go, but just to sum it up, are you for or against him at the price?
Yeah, I'm happy to take him on at 6 to 5.
And obviously,
if he got to 7 to 4, 2 to 1, Matt, would that tempt you at all, or are you just firmly against him?
Not at all. I'm firmly against, and I'm going to get a bit greedy and lay him really short in running.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's a classy horse. I don't doubt that he's still got loads of class. I just think he might shirk it late on, and there might be something younger legs, something a bit less exposed that doesn't have a Gold Cup, grueling Gold Cup experience at the back of the minds. And I'm going to lay him at really short odds. You're not going to lose a lot, are you, in running?
No. That's where Gregory comes into the equation, because his best performance to date was in that Queen's Vase last year, where he was ridden forcefully from the front. It was a really good time figure. He looked a strong stayer. Things haven't really gone to plan since then. He obviously dropped back to 1.5 miles for the Voltigeur. He ran in the Leger. Thought he shaped really encouragingly at York. He looks a stayer to me. I think 2.5 round Ascot will really bring out the strengths in him, and around 11 to 2. I'd have him more a 7-2 chance, because I think he'll definitely improve for the trip.
You're with Gregory, you're with Vauban.
Yeah, I mean, Vauban's just beat Gregory in that at York. They bumped into a proper course specialist there. Gio Valletto is a useful, a very...
I managed to get that beat at Doncaster off a mark in the 80s a couple of seasons.
He's a good operator at York, a really good horse. Obviously backing up the win from the previous season. I thought Vauban, look, that was his first run of the season, first run since that disappointing run out in Melbourne. It just not a lot went right for him that day, but that was a run that the Mullins team were really delighted with. He can kick on from that, hopefully.
Okay, I like Coltrane.
Yeah,
each way, I think he's rock solid around Ascot.
Loves the track, yeah.
Won an Ascot Stakes, second in an Ascot Gold Cup, won 2 Cigaros.
Cheap pieces on last time.
Cheap pieces seem to liven him back up, and it's good form. The two he beat came out and finished first and second in the Heron Stakes at Sandown, and he beat Giovaletto at York as well. So like you say, I think he's a good yardstick, isn't he, on the Knaves Mare. So yeah, Coltrane for me. It's a fascinating race, the Gold Cup, and one of the highlights of the week. And I think we're all taking on Kyprios, unless he gets to 2 to 1, and Kieran might get involved. Right then, we're going to finish the video with a selection each for Thursday, please. Matt, you first.
Yeah, I'm going to go another one that I think might be able to dispel any fears around fast ground. I'm going for Danielle in the Ribblesdale Stakes. Obviously, a race in which the Gosdens, have a fantastic record. Obviously, she looks like the first string on jockey bookings. Obviously, Kieran Schumacher stays loyal to her. I thought it was quite an eye-catching run. Lingfield Derby Trail. She finished third in the end, but it was a run that I thought screamed more to come. I don't think the track played to her strengths. Downhill, sharp, relatively sharp test on really quick ground. Now, obviously, we're looking at good to firm going at Ascot, but a proper 1.5 mile stiff test should see her in a really good light. A daughter of Cracksman. I think there's lots more to come from her, and I'm just happy to take on the two I'm happy to oppose the Godolphin horse, the Shamadal filly, on the basis that she maybe doesn't want quite such a searching test. She showed a real sparkling turn of foot to win. Yeah, she won over a mile at Ascot first time out, didn't she?
Yeah, she's up further in trip, but she won readily at Newbury.
She did. It was a good race. I like the look of her. I'd happily oppose her at around 6 to 4 on a card.
She is out of an Oaks winner, but she's got gears. And like you say, if this uphill finish, if it does turn into a test, if she does handle the ground, you'll have a good chance there, I think.
Kieran Clark, your best bet for day 3 of Ascot?
But Pedro, Buckingham Palace, 25 to 1.
You're obsessed with this horse.
He is my cliff horse for the season, and I did the race report when he ran at York. He was 3rd in the Hambleton, and he flew home, and he just wants a stiff uphill finish. I think he's got a good record at Newmarket of late. He ran okay in this race last year. He's lowering the weights. Things didn't go to plan at Epsom last time. They didn't come back to him on that speedier track. And I think they're going to go right good gallop. And Jason Watson, I think, is on him.
Back to my Epsom.
Did you?
I know what's coming in. He's going to win at the Buckingham Palace, isn't he?
I hope so. Keep the faith. Yeah, he made that move on the inside. He got a little bit short of room, but he just didn't find them coming back to him. Now, the winner of that's already gone in. Too tempting. The runner-up runs in the Hunt Cup today as we film on Wednesday. What day is it? It's been a long week already, hasn't it? So that form could get another boost today. And I thought around 25 to 1 with the enhanced place terms, he'll have a very good chance. And before you jet off on holiday, Mr. Linfoot, are you going to give us a Gilded Water tip or something on the Thursday card?
I do like Gilded Water. I think he could be very well handicapped after the 3 runs in 6 weeks. Really impressive at Chepstow, beating a well-titled Sir Michael Stow horse by 7 lengths. And he looks like he's been laid out for this, just like Desert Hero was last year for the same connection.
Still a double-figure price.
So, Gilded Water for me on Thursday. Thank you, gents. Good luck with Danielle and Bo Pedro. Thank you for watching. We'll be back to take a look at Opera Singer, who goes in the Coronation Stakes on Friday.